Bro, we are recording. It's official.
Welcome to Bells Beach.
We're in. First off, bro, welcome to Victoria. Welcome to the home of Australian surfing, Bells Beach.
It's good to be here, man. It's really good to be here.
And you've never been here before, right? You always wanted to come
I've
here.
never been here, and I think most people would probably be able to say that in terms of Australian landscape that they haven't been to. It's unfortunate that we haven't explored such a dense country with so many things to see, but also a blessing that there's so many things to fucking see.
Yeah. It's a beautiful time of year here in Victoria, March. It's like 25 degrees right now, not a breath of wind. One person surfing. I mean, look at the backdrop, bro.
Yeah. It's almost like we picked it perfectly.
Yeah. Dude, what's been happening?
Mate, it's been a wild year. Wild year of... I feel like the longer that you do this work, like as someone in it, that's helping, supporting others, the gift keeps on giving for more layers and more work for me.
Yeah.
And as fucking annoying as it is, that there's always more levels of awareness and more depth. It's sort of like, yeah, but like, that's the double-edged sword of like mastery, right? It's like the more that I master, the more I'm like, oh yeah, there's some more things for me to keep refining. And that's like, you know, I'm very humbled by that process, and it's definitely been like upgrade city at the moment. So it's been a lot in both ways, in really trying times and then also in like huge triumphs as well. So yeah, man, it's been pretty cool portal to open.
Yeah.
What about you, dude? Dad life.
Fuck. Dad life, man. The little man's 7 months old today. So, yeah, it's just a fucking journey, bro. And like I was saying to you in the car, like, it feels like a true initiation into the human experience having a child.
Yeah.
Your perspective and your perception just changes so much, and the lens that you look at life through just becomes so fucking clear. And that's what I mean by the initiation. You know, you do all the work, right? You become the healthiest version of yourself. You become a master at your practice. And that's all well and good. You learn all the books, so you read all the books, you learn all the practices, but nothing can teach you more than bringing a child into the world. And yeah, it's just fucking crazy. And I know that you'll be going on that path very soon. And as I always say to people, there's no advice that I can give anyone stepping into parenthood, but just fucking strap in.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, just fucking get ready. Yep.
That's it. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
It's just the preparedness which never gets to full mastery.
Yeah.
You know? That just like both of my mates have just had kids. One of them's about to have another one.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you can't prepare for sleep deprivation, for example. It's like, so like there's an element of like strap in where it's like, we can't fucking practice being sleep deprived. Like, why practice it? You know?
Yeah.
So that's just like, so I'm sure it's the same for a woman, like pregnancy. It's like, yeah, strap in. We don't know which way it's going to turn. And then the birth itself, like, there is an element of uncertainty that you've got to ride the fucking wave of.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. About a year ago, I filmed a video just around the corner, and it was probably about 3 months into finding out that we were having a child. And I knew that there was work to be done, but it was more around the intentions that I desire to set for myself and cultivate practices in terms of a way of living. And the two words that came up for me was presence and patience. I just said to myself, like, that is going to be the deepest practice that I can think of when being a father is presence and patience. If I can immerse myself in that intention, I know I'm going to be a great father.
Fuck yeah.
And so then from that day onwards, that has been my intention in terms of the way that I desire to live, with more presence, with more patience. And then the other word that's recently came into my consciousness is simplicity. How simple can I make things? How simple can I allow things to be in health, in life, in business, being a father, in a world that seems very complicated right now?
Yeah.
And so that's my 3 intentions in terms of what I desire to cultivate as being a father. Because there's no work that you can do that will prepare you for being a father. But I believe that there is a way of living that you can practice that will allow the experience to be somewhat more desirable, more pleasant, more abundant, more expansive.
Yeah, where you're allowed to even more receiving and giving because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so... That's probably why I feel so drawn to you, bro. It's like my mission statement that I say every day is I create a life of being seen and understood by having patience, presence, and trust. And every single day, that is something that I have to be devoted to be able to get to live this life. But also the thing that, and the reason it's there is because of that practice being not the easiest thing to just come about. That I really do have to make sure it's said every day to go, but remember, simply, it's like, but that's so much more desirable despite all my conditioning. It tells me something different. And I live like I'm already a dad to be able to best be prepared for it. And I think it's perfectly put. It's the presence and the patience, bro. And then everything else is a fucking bonus that comes with that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, trust is there as well, because trusting that that's enough is like probably the battle that I come up against. It's like, but if I'm this patient, or this present, then what we'll miss out on. And when you put it in the lens of a kid, it's like, what I'll miss out on. They're going to be changing their fucking brain every minute, and you got a new Lenny, That's
a fact, though.
Yeah.
That's an actual fact.
So,
yeah.
Why not be present as you fucking possibly can?
Yeah. And the conversation I had with my clients at the start of the year was to set some of these clear intentions for yourself in terms of a way of being, a way of living. And everyone obviously has their own intentions. But the cool thing about an intention like what you've set for yourself, that practice every single morning to devote yourself to those intentions, is you can never have enough of presence, patience, and simplicity and trust.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
There's nowhere in the world where you can fully master
You can't
presence.
fully master that.
It's not possible to always have. Which means we'll always be doing the work.
Yeah.
If you just look at it through that lens.
Yeah.
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 For sure, bro.
It's not a goal. Like, it's not a tangible thing that you achieve, and then when you achieve it, you're done with it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I love.
Yeah.
That's the fucking thing. That's the work, though.
Totally.
And then...
But that's the simplicity of the work.
That's it.
People are like, how much longer do I have to do this, right? How much more shit do I have to go through?
Yeah.
How many more protocols do I have to start? It's like... But presence never stops. So we're always going to try to be more present. So why look at it through any other lens besides, but I'm always going to be trying to come back to this. Or even not trying. Effortlessly be able to be here right now.
Yeah.
For this moment, and this moment, and this moment, and this moment.
Yeah.
And fuck, everything else just becomes too complex. Like,
Yeah.
if I can just bring it back to that, kids are perfect anchor for that shit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the trap that we often catch ourselves in is the trap of the evidence. The work not even being complete, but that it's working. And so therefore, I believe no one can devote themselves enough to a practice because they're attaching too much of the evidence. Well, how do I know the work is working if there's no evidence to tell me that it is working? And so therefore, my question then to you would be, how do you detach from the evidence and continue to remain in the practice?
It's we're so in sync, bro. It's wild. But the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I've been riding my 1-day event, and it's without giving too much away.
Yeah.
It's pretty much that. It's about how practitioners, mostly, which is my niche and what I do, but it works for everyone.
Yeah.
Is how attached to outcomes we are, and how not clocking and checking that attachment to that outcome means that you don't pause enough to even fucking realize how in control or gripping of the control that you actually are. And I think to kind of answer your question in maybe a very deep way, it's once you can clock that you do have an attachment to outcomes, or there's parts of you that have a fuckload of attachments to certain outcomes, even in the coaching industry, is I want my client to do well.
Yeah.
Is an attachment to them doing well. Once we can clock where that comes from and really owning that this is based on a lot of different conditioning, then we have to grieve it. So if we don't name it, we can't grieve it. But then to grieve it is to say like, but I can't. We can no longer afford to keep attaching to this outcome. So let's just say you're my client. I have to be able to feel steady if you never change. Because if I can't, then I'm like, firstly, not present. So I have to be able to accept that me being here with you, where you're trying all these different things to try and do what you can to get well, I have to not attach to that outcome because I want to make it more about me than it is about you.
Yeah.
2, I'll then maybe do the work for you. Or 3, there might be, I mean, there's way more than 3.
Yeah.
Right? But then that becomes this like, but then I will lose my ability to be steady. And I have to grieve that I'm just trying to control, which is a big strength in lots of ways, because I obviously can help people get to a really cool place.
Yeah.
But it loses its integrity if it's about the outcome. So the detachment process, I think, is so much about like, and can I make sure that the noise of my parts that are like, yeah, but say the thing, or but just get them here, or tie their shoelace for them so they don't have to tie theirs because of what's happening in me. I will watch for the noise and then try to come back to presence, be patient and go, I just actually want to sit with it. And then you end up doing all the fucking work, right? Which is so much more blissful.
Fuck. Yeah. It's beautifully explained. Yeah. It's the truth. That's the truth of it though. Because we are conditioned from a very young age to look for the evidence of the thing that you're doing to be working. And if it doesn't work, well, then you have to change it and find something that does work. And I now sit with devoting yourself to the practice to simply just love the practice.
It's not about the outcome.
It's not about the outcome. And so if we look at surfing, for example, like we're in a great place to speak about surfing right now, and I'm also a surfer. The day that I got my first surfboard, I knew that I was going to suck at it. But I'm capable in the water. I grew up bodyboarding, and I knew that I just had to get out there and devote myself to the practice if I want to be a surfer and if I want to identify as being a surfer. I want to build my character around being a surfer. The first day sucked, the second day sucked, the third day sucked. All of it continues to still suck at times, and I still suck at times.
Yeah.
But it's not the outcome of me being a surfer. It's devoting yourself to the practice of surfing, and then detaching from you needing to be a good surfer allows you to be a good surfer.
Yeah, man, because it's like only then will you be able to get up.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
It's the moment that you fully let go of this needing to work is when it finally fucking works for you.
That's it, man. And I think that it's such a beautiful message, and my version of that, right, which I think was also like an embodiment practice, which
Yes.
helps you be the best coach, right? Helps you be able to be, I say to my clients at the moment, it's like, it would be like the same thing. It's like, where are you surfing? You know, where in your life are you doing this devotional practice? Because if you're not doing it, I don't know if I'm going to get the best results as a client from you. So for me at the moment, it's moving into the country. I'm making fucking sourdough, you know?
Yeah,
I'm making
man.
bread, dude.
Yeah.
So the making of the bread, I mean, I watch enough videos on TikTok or Bread Talk, but it's like, everyone's fucking it up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to fuck up making bread, and touch bread, I'm yet to experience a bad loaf, which is hectic, but a bonus, right? And the thing for me is, it's so much more about what sourdough is about. Surfing, very similar. It demands fucking patience and presence. It demands it. So who the fuck am I to not practice something that actually calls forward something that's so in alignment with these intentions to actually get better at not the art of surfing or sourdough, but of practicing presence and patience.
Yeah, the being in it.
Yeah.
It's reading a book. You and I have both come from a very similar past of not being readers.
No.
I fucking
read.
sucked at it, man.
Right.
I used to pick up books and read 5 or 10 pages and be like, I can't fucking concentrate on this thing, let alone actually take away anything from it.
Yeah.
And so I was always in the belief of like, I need to read more books because there's so much knowledge to gain. There's something to gain from it.
Some outcome there.
There's some outcome there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to attach myself to the outcome, being like, I'm missing out on all of this wisdom if I don't read. What about you just read because it's a devotional practice? Pour yourself a cup of tea and sit with the book. Who cares if it makes sense? Who cares if you can't read it? Sit there and practice and practice and practice. And I can now call myself a capable reader.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I'm like, paradoxically, I'm also fucking receiving the information that is spoken in the book as well.
Yeah.
Because of the devotion, like the devotion to surfing. I'm now a good surfer.
Yeah, but it becomes so much more effortless rather than like, I hope this information comes into my brain. I hope I can read this book so I learn the thing, I learn the thing.
Yeah.
Dude, if you think about, and this is such a cool pivot down the lens of what we do for others, is how many fucking coaches, how many facilitators, how many therapists are unconsciously so subtly attached to outcomes that it's actually impeding the result. It's impeding it's getting in the way of what's possible for people because, well, one, there's not enough devotional practice, which means how can you keep asking your client to have good practices and self-care and regimes, but then also it's like you won't even realize how much you want X, Y, and Z to happen because you're not aware of how much outcomes are potentially driving each moment. It's the same for relationships. It's the same for how you be parenting. You know? And it's you know, when you don't want your baby to cry, they'll fucking cry. You know, I need to get sleep tonight, or whatever. It's like, well, we're almost writing our own self-fulfilling prophecies, dude. You know? Yeah.
And this couldn't be any more true through the lens of health. And how I coach through the lens of health. The funny thing is actually detaching so much from being healthy and devoting yourself to the practice of what a healthy human looks like. Health falls out of you. Health just naturally becomes you. You become health because
organic,
of the
right?
Organic. Because of the devotional practice to what it's like to be a healthy human. And this is where I believe building your character, building your identity of what it's like to be a healthy individual allows you to be a healthy individual.
Yeah. But
not
such a
for the health
fucking
outcome.
backwards way of doing it, which it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't
should be that way around.
It should be that way around. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Interesting.
let's think about it through the lens of being a fucking 5-year-old and, you know, wanting to be a famous tennis player or a famous soccer player. And you would fall in love with the practice of becoming the best fucking soccer player, and you'd build your character around being a soccer
Posters,
player.
uniforms,
all of it,
drills,
everything,
soccer
your
balls.
whole fucking world
Yeah.
becomes David fucking Beckham because
Yeah.
you want to bend it like Beckham.
Yeah.
You want to be that kid. So you devote yourself every fucking night, every single morning to kicking that ball, to practicing, to bend it. Yet you're not even attaching to the outcome. You're subconsciously detaching from the outcome because you're just fucking obsessed with the practice.
Yeah.
Where, oh, Zach, what are you doing? I'm just outside kicking the fucking soccer ball again. Oh, there he is. He's doing his thing.
He's doing the thing.
He's doing the thing.
And you know what? There's not millions of Beckhams. So it makes me go, what squashed the shine from these kids? It's like, what in that effortlessness did they get this like mud thrown at them because their parents or because society was like, well, I mean, don't shoot too fucking big, you know? Or like,
Let's be real here.
Yeah, like there can't be a million David Beckhams or whatever. And then it just slowly plants this seed of doubt.
Yep.
And now I believe this work is about returning home. Because why the fuck can't you and me sit out here, talk, connect, look out over the water on a Tuesday fucking afternoon and feel like this is my devotional practice?
Well, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Why are we having this conversation right now? Is it because we want the viewers to buy from us? Or is it simply because we're hanging out, it's a beautiful day, and we have the opportunity to create? Just because we love creating, which creating is not even through the lens of art, but just simply being. We're having this conversation. Why? Just to have the conversation.
Yeah. Dude, I literally just thought a second ago, I was like, it'd be pretty funny if the fucking phone overheated and stopped working. Wouldn't change a thing.
Would not fucking
Wouldn't
change
change
a
a fucking thing.
Yep.
And that's the art of it, where it's like, how often do you think I'm surfing while you're surfing? It's just
fucking true.
You're just doing. You're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
being.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the same with this fucking soccer, the dream of being a soccer player. It's just
Yeah.
like, well, of course I'm waking up kicking that ball.
Yeah.
But of course, and this is where it's like, how, if we started with identity, which we originally kind of do,
Yeah.
I think the same way is like, as we said before, like our child's brain shifts and changes over and over and over again. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, because our society and the way that we have been taught to parent in certain ways, is we have a lot of missed opportunity, missed need, which actually then creates this concept and belief of the world for a 5-year-old that starts to plant the seed that I'm not good enough. But then his whole identity is built from that, gaining more evidence that it's true, shattering his dreams, but then starting to get him more and more indoctrinated into, you know, how things could be and what's not possible. And if we start at the end today, to anyone that we work with and come into contact with, and yourself and me over the last year, the fucking upgrades that have been happening for us, it's like, yeah, but what if that 5-year-old can create a whole reality around what's not possible? At 5, he had his brain wasn't even developed, and he came up with this huge concept that we can't, or we shouldn't. So I'm now 32 with a whole bunch of brain, now going, well, if he could do it, maybe I can fucking do it.
Oh, man.
And I'm going to create my identity knowing that I am going to have the roadblock of my old identity. But it's a 5-year-old. I'm like, I get it. He created this concept of how life is. And now I'm saying, hey, man, let's fucking go for a surf on Tuesday afternoons. But we can't. That's naughty.
Oh, yeah. Well said. And like the conversation we had in the car, about self-worth in terms of receiving something.
Yeah.
I can't receive something I desire unless I put X into it. Therefore, then validates me receiving X.
Yeah, I earned it.
I earned it.
I now
worked
deserve
for it. And so
I've
it's
proven
like
myself.
I've proven myself. That's different to devoting yourself to a practice, because then you're still, again, attaching to the outcome of the thing that you feel like you should or shouldn't deserve because of the work that you've put in.
Exactly. And if you're not careful, and if you don't do something like patience and presence, you won't fucking realize until it smacks you on your ass.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck, there's been consequences to this. Major costs in our life. And if it's doing its job right as a protector, like as a fear-based thing that's trying to keep us safe, then it never wants us to realize that. Our nervous systems aren't really conditioned for change. They like it familiar.
Yeah.
So when we start to then look at it in a way that's like, oh, but, you know, we're challenging that whole belief. It's like, don't do that. You know, we might have the thing. Then what do you mean we don't have to prove ourselves? What do you mean we don't have to do anything to be worthy? Well, it was once true. Born inherently worthy, just for breathing.
Yep.
You know? And then, yeah, there's so much noise that kind of starts to, too much noise, that starts to give us more evidence for the thing one, that we can't have, but two, what we, you know, I'm told we meant to have.
Yeah. I think for me, what really comes up in this particular context is love, not worthy of receiving love, and money. Those two things are what really are standing out for me right now. I'm not worthy of receiving money unless I work hard for it, because my whole life I've been told, make sure you go to school, get good grades, then go into work and work your way to freedom. Work your way to the end so then you can rest, so then you can relax.
Yeah.
And isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, it's like then you can have the identity
Then-
that you're wanting.
Yeah. But first,
If you do these things.
you have to put in the work and you have to earn it, son.
Yeah.
And because I've put the work in, everyone's recognizing that and now seeing the work that I've put in and now validating the work that I'm doing as being good. Good on you, son. You worked hard for it.
Then I'm seen.
Then I'm seen. Now
heard,
I'm worthy of
understood,
receiving
which
love.
is also love.
That's love.
And then what a bunch of evidence we've just created to do the fucking same thing. And then, as we're saying, the opposite, which is I'll devote myself to that. And then watch it slowly never feel enough. Looking outside of ourselves to find love is never, ever going to work. But try and convince my 5-year-old that he's seeking, doing whatever he can to get it, especially when he's been acknowledged he's a good boy when he does try or, you know, work really hard or kick another fucking footy in the golf, you know?
Yeah. Fuck. Powerful conversations.
Yeah, man. And I think, like, coming back to grief is once we can clock that, it's a big thing to recognize, and not an easy path for people to then fall to their knees and surrender and actually grieve. Well, I don't want it to keep being this way. You know, we just had an awesome conversation with a dude who's just on the edge of the next leap in his world. And they're just there, his cheerleaders in the back going, let's do it. And it's just like, I just heard the noise that's there that's like, yeah, but what if, or I'm not sure, or it's a, you know, I want to do it, but you know, it's scary, and all that in some way is true.
Yeah.
But it's a fabricated story.
Stories. Yeah, stories.
And again, if you attach too much to this idea of, but I really want to make it work if I do. It's like, right, well, that'll be the thing that fucks it all up.
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck. It's so crazy, this whole attachment piece, because you can attach to an outcome, but you can also attach to a story that doesn't even exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once you start attaching to the stories,
You'll still build evidence for it.
and then you'll find the evidence for it.
And you make it not a story. You find a way to be distorted reality.
And now it's my reality now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is why I can't.
Yeah.
So once we realize that's a huge truth, that we need support to be able to then go, fuck, I hear you, man. That's an identity death. And, you know, grief is not an easy thing to have in any way.
No.
But it's so necessary because I to have what I really do deeply desire demands a certain level of like, well, then doing it this way kind of has to die or kind of has to be put to rest or stepped aside so that I don't have to wait anymore to eventually have it.
Yeah, and again, the concept that I use or the metaphor that I use through my way of thinking, coaching, practice is, are you in the driver's seat or are you in the passenger seat? Or if you're not in the passenger seat, you're probably on the fucking back seat of the bus trying to control the bus from the back seat.
Yeah.
But you're not driving.
Yeah, who's driving?
Who's fucking driving?
Yeah. I said the same metaphor, and it's so often that driver thinks that they're in the craziest high-speed chase.
Yeah.
And someone's literally right behind them.
Yep.
Threatening them, which creates the unsafety. So it's like, we have to drive this way.
Yeah. Yep. And there are going to be parts of us that are in scarcity, parts of us that are in fear, parts of us that are in doubt, lack, want, all of that.
But.
Yeah, cool. We got it. But they're just in the back seat of the bus.
Yeah.
And can those versions of you still exist between now and the end of your time on this earth realm? Fucking oath they can.
And will.
And will. Because I believe it's not about completely getting rid of those things.
No, they're you.
They're a part of you. But if the highest version of yourself can be the driver, and you can see those parts, but you don't operate from those parts and you don't allow those parts to start steering the bus, the human experience can be pretty fucking radical.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I guess to expand on that, the way that I teach it too, like the trauma lens is like, if you're the parent, then you need to reparent all these little rat bags in the back of the bus.
True.
And the more that you can get to a place where you're just going, what do you guys need? Because I'm leading, so that you don't feel like you have to keep driving and know that I've got you. But so often we don't step into that leadership. We don't step into that seat to say, you know what? You all need a lot of parenting and I'm here for you, because a lot of the time they don't trust you because you haven't been there to give them the boundaries, to say, hey, it could be a different way. They've been trying to run the bus for a while.
Yeah.
And I think the more that we can start to kind of look in, grieve and reflect and tune in that way, then we get them to be more informants than leaders, where they can pull at my shirt and be like, hey, this is scary. And I go, I hear ya. I get it. Here's how we're going to go about it. Or my anger that's like, punch him in the face. And I go, I get it, but I'm going to just tell him I didn't appreciate it when you said that to me. Because if I punch you in the face, we're going to get in trouble again, mate.
Yeah.
And I just parenting them and letting them inform me, but not lead anymore.
Yeah. It's that question of, what's really going on here? Where's this coming from?
Yeah.
Where's the origin of where this is coming from?
Yeah. And what's the intention behind it?
Yeah.
Because there's always a good intention.
Always.
Always trying to keep us safe in some way, shape or form,
sure.
despite the cost and consequence.
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck. Powerful, man. So, our intention for this conversation was to simply have the conversation, which is exactly what
We're nailing.
We're nailing. But also, I'd love to come into your world for a moment and I would love for you to take me on the journey of what it's like to be in your world and how you devote yourself to the practice of your world and some of the deepest intentions on why you do the thing that you do and what is the thing that you do. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And look, you know, I think my answer sort of is always shifting because of the constant evolution and expansion of me.
Yeah, sick.
And,
as it should.
And as kind of already written, I'm on a big journey, and it's only going to get fucking better.
Yeah.
Because right now it's so good.
Fuck.
Even when it's challenging, right? But that's, you know, my soul had a fucking dream, and this is it, you know. So this is me experiencing it in the polarity that it gives me. But I guess tangibly, the metaphor that I've been using is I moved into the country and I was like, I'm fucking gonna homestead it up. You know, I'm gonna get goats, I'm gonna get chickens, I'm gonna get just so embellished in the embodiment of that practice, and that be my devotion. And one of those things was sourdough. Right? And making a sourdough starter from scratch, you know, like we've said, demands this stillness, demands consistency and routine and patience and presence and a detachment from the outcome, right? And that change of pace was so what my nervous system needed. That that so much landed because of committing and devoting to like the what if, or, you know, how do I live this life that I really do desire. And it's funny how interesting it all played out, because that starter potentially is going to be passed on for generations. And it took me 2 fucking weeks for it to go moldy. Because one misstep, one out of alignment moment where I was back in my busyness, where I was not as patient, where I was not as present, I put it in the fucking cupboard instead of the fridge before I went out and ran a retreat. It's subtle. But that thing could have been here for 60 years, and it was such a good checker for me to be like, you're not fully in it. You're not. There is something, and I mean, don't even get me started on the version of having a kid's version of this, right?
Fuck.
But like, that's my baby at the moment.
Yeah.
And that really helped me go, we're always going to be refining the embodiment practice. And, you know, to keep the metaphor going, I keep saying to my clients, like, where are you making bread in your world? Your version of that practice. Because if my people invest a lot of money to work with me, and if they don't fucking see me making sourdough or getting eggs or like working towards getting my goats, they're not going to get the best version of me.
Because you're not embodied.
Because I'm not embodying the only thing that helps me be so deeply aligned to then deliver in the highest quality standard. So the practice itself is what yes, I would teach someone to be the best trauma therapist they can be, because that's what I do. That's my skill set. But what they end up getting, like, that's a given. But what they end up getting is how to become the work, how to be the embodiment for themselves. Let's just say my soul had this fucking dream that keeps getting bigger and bigger the more I realize to be here to do this work. But fuck, while I'm in this body, I also want to be a farmer. But that's how I'm going to do it so well. And it's only doing both of these things that then I get the most out of living my life and serving my purpose. But they're actually the different side of the same fucking coin, man. So in a weird way, that is what I do. And my model of care is all about self-worth, which I have to live by. The only reason I've created it because it's the only thing that's allowed me to be in recovery. And they're 8 pillars that I need to be constantly filling up, that need to be fed, that need to keep rising like the sourdough, right? And that's where it's like, this is an ongoing devotion to, being in this experience, and that's what it all is about. And if I can some way find a way to teach others to do that, then that's kind of the whole shebang, my dude.
Fuck yeah.
But you know,
that's rad.
It's it's such a gift to see it, to now know that it can be done that way.
Yeah.
Is probably the biggest thing. Personally, that's like, I was nailing it doing it in a Sydney life, but it didn't feel as good.
Bit rigid.
It just was a bit... I was off rather than the work was off and the delivery was off.
Yeah.
It was just like, but what if like I could get even more me during this?
Yeah.
And so it was. And that's sort of where I have really kind of noticed that, like, detaching to outcomes and really kind of slowing that down, then I kind of refine it in that way.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
And I know it's similar for you, but what do people get that happens because of the work that you do through the lens of health that they had no idea they were also going to get that?
An incredible human experience. Why do I say that? Is because, yes, I'm a health coach. So therefore I coach health. Yes, true. But that's not where we start. We start with, what does your human experience look and feel like right now? What do you desire your human experience to look and feel like at its peak? And actually sitting and having the conversation with the human, not with the symptoms they've got, not with the health they don't have right now, not with even the health that they do desire, but the person that they desire to become and also be in this moment. Health just becomes the vessel that allows us to have that experience.
Yeah.
Hence why my program is called The Human Experience. I believe the most spiritual practice is being a human, is living the human experience. And because of everything that you and I have spoken about up until this point, we never even ask ourselves what we desire from our human experience for our human experience.
Yeah.
Look at where we are, bro. Look at what this earth realm can provide for us and what we can provide for it. We are a part of it. It's all one. So why not have a fucking rad time while we're here? Why not? Why wouldn't we desire that? And so therefore, once we can actually understand even what a little bit of your ultimate human experience looks and feels like, we can then actually start to identify the amount of health that you actually need for you to live and embody that practice. Because I believe, just from my experience, health is the outcome that people want.
That's it.
Not the life. Because they're under the illusion of, once I get to the healthiest, most abundant, most fucking optimal version, then I'll start living. Isn't that a fucking illusion?
Yeah.
And so therefore my work lies deeply in, yes, of course, seeing them for who they are and where they are, but simply inviting them to a new standard. Leadership for themselves in all areas of their life, not just health.
Yeah.
And health is just the vessel. Health is the tool, but it's not the devotional practice. The devotional practice is to the life that you desire to cultivate for yourself. The values that we live by are health. Yeah.
And I love the way you get it to be more simple in that. And, I know there's so many tangibles that kind of happen.
Yeah.
But I get that the people get so lost.
Yeah.
Because when I live from that place, I just naturally want to look after myself more,
Yeah.
because that's going to just naturally make sense
Yeah.
to then do next.
Yeah.
And if I slow down enough to notice that, then it's like, yeah, okay, well, I don't want Macca's, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm living this way for that to just naturally make sense within.
Yeah.
I guess the other side of it, and I'm curious to know what you think about this, is like when I'm not driven by the life that I want because I want that outcome of health, then I'm actually getting so lost in what I'm meant to be doing. So like, I should be eating organic. I need to change my water. But for me, it's like the push marketing that's happening for pharmaceuticals, but also for the other side, which
Yes.
is the health products that are good for you, are also still delivered to these unconscious meat suits that are just like, well, that's what I should be doing.
Yep.
And it's still not it.
It's not it.
Yeah. Talk me through that.
Again, this is through my lens and how I perceive this concept. We're unaware of context, and all we feed is content.
Yeah. True.
It's content, content, content. And usually, the way that content is delivered is through the lens of fear. If you don't do this, you won't be healthy.
Yeah.
If you have this, it's most likely because of this. That's content.
Yeah.
The person that's delivering through whatever medium they desire to deliver their message through is so unaware of the context from the person that's receiving it. So how the fuck do you know that that's actually the right answer? Because you don't understand the context. So therefore, every piece of knowledge, information, whatever that I deliver is not to paint a picture that's black and white. You should be doing this or you shouldn't be doing this. Rather, it's an invitation of maybe you should think about it like this and see if that lands for you. And if this language that I'm speaking lands for you, here's an invitation for us to dive deeper into it.
Yeah. That makes
That's context.
perfect sense. So you're almost teaching, let's say content is what we're putting in our body, right?
Yeah.
You got to be careful what you consume,
Yep.
right? And that's just another thing that we're consuming, like food. And if you don't have the filter, which I'm thinking this is what you're teaching, is like when you're coming from a place that's more refined and more sovereign, then what you consume doesn't land because you don't have, you've built in like, well, does my desired reality want to be driven by what I should be doing? And then there's this like pause that can be like, well, where am I at? Do I need to gather a little bit more to know that
Yeah.
this is what I need
Yeah.
to have that desire? And can I do it from a place where I'm not attaching to an outcome of what it's going to give me?
Yep. That's exactly what I do. The
Yeah.
first piece of my coaching is to simply bring awareness to where you are right now. Where are you right now? How are you feeling? And to bring yourself out into nature like this and to look out into the ocean and go, what's going on? How am I? What's working? What's not working? If you can bring awareness to something, it then almost gives you the permission to then start to make change because you've brought awareness to where you're currently at. You can't change anything if you're not aware of what you need to change.
Yeah, fuck no.
You can't do it.
And insight isn't integration.
Yeah. And so therefore, context becomes even more relevant because it's like, then I understand the human in terms of where they're at, but inviting them into leading their own life and creating a new standard for themselves, that health just becomes a natural fucking part of who they are.
Yeah.
Because what's actually healthy? Eating organic, getting your feet on the earth, drinking filtered water, but you're in an environment that won't actually allow your nervous system to be even integrated to be a healthy human.
Yeah.
Or what's healthier? The 65-year-old Italian man who's eating sardines on the beach, smoking cigarettes and drinking wine all day. Who's healthier? Well, it depends on the context.
That's totally
the content's
contextual.
fucking irrelevant here. There was a woman in Italy who lived to 120, smoking cigarettes, drinking wine, eating dark chocolate every single day, and everyone's sitting there questioning what
Wait a
the
minute.
hold on. Wait, but that's not healthy though. But maybe it was all these biohackers. Oh, maybe fuck, I'm confused. How did she? Therefore, how do we actually know what is and isn't healthy through the physical lens of what we consume? We don't. All we actually know about this woman, what did she say? She lived a fucking happy life. She wasn't attached to health. She was actually the embodiment of what it's like to be a fucking human and have a fucking good time. She was in her garden every single day, planting new plants, picking fruit. And I guarantee, without even knowing this woman, she would have cultivated so much practice and devotional practice to not any particular thing, but simply what it's like to be a human.
Everything would have just fallen into place.
Everything just fell into place for her.
And this is where it's like that same vision of that same person in a different alternate universe that's doing it from a place of lack or a place of coping
Yeah.
that might not have died, but for example could have, because of the unhealthiness. And we would have said, oh, it's because she was doing this and
Smoking
that.
and drinking.
It's like, well, what was going on underneath?
Yeah.
Context again, right?
Context again. Yeah.
And it's coming from the wrong place.
Yep.
You know? And I've lived my craziest days doing shit that is not the healthiest in a sense, but that's actually all shaped the human experience. And I wouldn't change it for the fucking world,
no way.
dude.
No way.
You know? No. And I now know that where I am now in this level of expansion, that I can't do it that way anymore. But that's not because of, you know, lack or like, you know, old Dabbitt's dying hard. It's more like, this is where I am now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that feels okay.
The sourdough gives you
Yeah.
what that old version of you was craving.
Yeah.
Sourdough gives you that now.
Exactly. And you know what? It's like people that get bored.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, this is by design. You know, someone was like, what if this is the rest of your days? Sitting out the back, looking at my garden, watching the cockatoos fly in, watching my chickens free range, and, you know, sitting with my partner who also loves a deck chair, and we just sit there and watch. And if that was the movie, I'm sure many people would think, where's this going?
Yeah.
I was like, it's going right here. This is exactly where I want it to be going.
Yep.
This is all I need it to be.
Yep.
And then any time that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm liking this, that's not about anything else besides look inward.
Yeah.
Because this is what I desired. So why is it changing? What else is pulling me a different direction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I believe that do I believe that we need a certain amount of health, especially embodied health, to be able to live the human experience? Again, depends on context. And what I mean by this is if someone has been in the conventional medical system for quite some time, they've been on painkillers, antibiotics, highly processed food, been working and stressed out of their mind for the last 15 to 20 years, and all of a sudden they have some serious underlying health conditions and limitations that are clearly a roadblock for them right now to even live any part of a human experience that would be somewhat desirable for them in that moment. Okay, Yeah, we're working on your health, brother.
Let's look at some stuff.
Let's look at some things. But also, this conversation still starts the same, though.
Exactly, and as it should.
Yeah.
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 And you know, this is the trauma lens, again, the therapy lens, which is like, I was talking to my mum last night, and she's like, I don't really need to keep going back and looking at my past. And I was like, okay, but what would make someone? It's like, because of the thing that's happening in their day that's having an impact. And she's like, oh, but I feel like I've got to be looking back. And I'm like, but it's not impacting your world now. So why do you need to keep looking at it?
Yeah, true.
And then it's like, well, if you're happy and you're satisfied, which from the outside looking in, I'm like, there's some things you could work on.
Yeah.
But she doesn't feel the need, and it's not creating too many consequences. Who the fuck am I to say that this is like, all right, let me know when it shifts, we'll have a conversation. But it's like, okay, if that lifestyle that you just described isn't causing any problems, I'm not going to take your money. But if it's starting to cause some problems, and you're actually invested to have a look at it, we're still going to start from where you said.
Yep.
Where would you want to be?
Yeah.
What is all of this costing you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe the work that I do, and I'm sure you're the same, and this is a lot of the practice that I've devoted myself to, is being really fucking good at building a bridge for someone.
Tell me more.
But not only building a bridge for someone, helping them walk on it as they build it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I see where you are right now, and I hear you, and I get that. And also, now that we've connected to your deepest desires and the dream version of yourself, I'm really fucking great at building them a bridge so they can fucking walk on it and get to whatever destination they desire.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I just know that that's where my work lives.
Fucking architectural design.
Yeah.
Building bridges.
And
helping them make their own. Right?
Yeah. The cool thing is I can empower them to build their own bridge and walk on it at the same time. And also be okay if there's a giant fucking dragon on that fucking bridge and you think there's no fucking way I can keep going. I'm also good at giving you the sword so you can fucking slay that dragon yourself and keep going.
Yeah.
Whatever that roadblock, whatever that challenge is, that's the metaphor.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, to elaborate on it a little bit more, it's like, I can't keep going. There's no more bridge to go. Yeah. But like, do you trust me, or can you get to a place where you can trust you?
Yeah.
That we can't wait for it to be finished in order to get to the other side.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work like that. You have to be able to have faith, bring people to almost their knees to say, I know we want all the fucking steps. I know we want the perfect design. I know we want the bridge already built. But I'm here to hold your hand and fucking help you build it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to walk across it, and you're going to go, why the fuck did it take us so long?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's getting out of our own way, but also being able to take these steps into that darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fucking cool gift that you got.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you. Here's a question that I would love to ask, because I've never been able to ask this question, but I feel like you're the perfect person to ask.
Hit me.
Do you believe people get addicted to the dragon and are constantly searching for the dragon because they're under the belief that there's more dragons that they need to slay for the bridge to be built? Oh, it's got to be this. Oh, now it's opened up this. Now I've got to do this. Now I've got to do this. Now I've got to slay this dragon. And now they're actually on the hamster wheel of healing.
Yeah. Oh man, that was my fucking catchphrase for months.
Yeah.
Talking to it. Yeah, literally that. The hamster wheel of healing.
Fuck. Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm very good at being an addict, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I learned the hard way that I can also be addicted to really healthy things like yoga. I got really addicted to yoga.
Yeah.
And I realized what it was doing for me and how it was serving me. But then I also now started to watch the wellness community from the outside looking in, being like, people are obsessed with doing more work.
Yeah.
And I think it comes back full circle to these parts where it's like, we're just enabling the different drivers of the bus to get better at what they do best.
Yeah.
So let's just say one of your drivers, Zach, is the guy that wants more, right?
Yep.
But he's the guy that signed up for the course because he thinks that he needs more. So he rocks up and then he sits down and then he learns. But the thing with him is it is never perfect, which means there is another fucking dragon to invest in to see if this dragon's the dragon.
Yeah.
And that becomes our identity.
Yeah.
And the poor little boy, it's a lot of work that I do, is helping that boy put down the shield and say, this is why you're not getting any further. You can't even get to the actual dragon because you can't move the shield any further. And it's not until you let down that shield that we can walk past the dragon. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're going to go in there without a shield? All I've done my whole life is have this fucking shield. And now you're telling me I can't use it? It's like, yeah, I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to parent you through this. And trust me, I get why you find it fucking hard.
Yep.
But until then, how's it all working out for you? As a question I love to say to my clients.
Yeah.
How's that working out for you, mate? Because it's inevitably, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that they're never going to get perfect.
Yep.
There's always going to be more tools, more modalities, more work, more layers.
Yep.
You know, and then they've just got fucking 50 different bridges that are a quarter built.
Yes.
And they go, well, none of them are any further along than the rest. I still can't get to fucking Paradise Island.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Fuck. Yeah, bro. That makes fucking perfect sense.
So in the world that I do, I help coach or mentor and teach other leaders doing this work to actually really peel back and look at who is driving, because you might actually just be enabling them to get better at being perfect, to get better at being, you know, how do I get even more disguised as a people pleaser? How do I get, you know, just slightly good enough to blend in but still be a chameleon that can't make my own sovereign decisions? It's like, if we're not careful who's showing up in front of us, then we're just honestly helping them get better at being fucking defensive and safe. As opposed to like, what if this is actually creating a lot of the problem itself? Yeah. But I don't know, I think a lot of therapists and coaches have to do their own work to even be able to go, I know this guy. He's a shield holder like I was.
Yeah.
He's just a really conscious, you know, piece that has to do it this way. Yeah. And that's what we go to work with, the inner child before we work with the teen standing in front of them, protecting them. Yeah. And that's where I think it takes a lot longer than it needs to do a lot of this heavy lifting work.
Yeah. What's coming up for me right now with the shield metaphor, because I fucking love that. And I could be way off here.
No, hit me.
I believe in the health world, the shield is a protocol. Because it's a safeguard.
It's
If you
literally for safety.
follow this,
Yeah.
you will get the health that you don't have at the moment. So here's a shield because it's a safeguard, it's a protection.
Yeah. It's a already built bridge.
Yeah, it's an already built bridge. Yeah, fuck, it's like, here you go, here's the bridge.
Yeah. But, you know, it's a cookie cutter and it works for everyone.
Yeah. Fuck. And that's why I just have detached from giving my clients protocols for such a long period of time, rather allowing them to master their own.
Yeah. And stepping into, like, what would it be like if we don't have one?
Yeah.
What do you immediately make that mean?
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Let's start there.
Let's start there. Oh,
Yeah.
but if I don't have this protocol, then I'm not going to get to the health. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what if that is the only thing that's stopping you from having health?
Fuck. Was letting go of the thing that you were under the illusion of the whole time that you thought was giving you the health. You were like, fuck,
yeah.
imagine if it was just right there and you just didn't even know.
The thing is, it's like, you know, people don't get that until they sit down
Yeah.
because they don't know that they need it.
Yeah, true.
So the biggest piece, and you know, that I love devoting to my practice is like, if they're just brave enough and do their own rites of passage to just step in through the door, I'm going to gift them like so much things to see that then they're finally like, whoa, it was that easy.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about grief. They're like, fuck. And most people that we work with is like, I wish I started working with you sooner. And that's so sad. And that beautiful gift. It's like, all right, but here we are
But
now.
here we are now. Yeah. The power of conversation. The power of communication. The power of simply just getting yourself in the room. Yeah. Getting yourself in the room to just have the conversation. That's what I'm always like. Once you're in the room with me, once we can sit down and have a conversation, we're groovy.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah,
We're good.
That's the art.
And you know what it feels like when people get in the room with me, and I'm sure it's the same for you.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to exhale. Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. We're here.
Yeah.
I know that there's work to be done, but I am in deep fucking trust that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be right now. So get yourself in the room.
Yeah, knowing that there isn't as enough bridge to be built in certain places in your mind that is actually stopping you from getting in the room. It's like,
Yeah.
and that's probably a lot of what holding a lot of people back.
Yep.
Because they want just a couple more things to be able to pay the money. They want a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
more things to
Yep.
find the time.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah. You know, it's a crazy thing to think about when I was working in the fitness industry. When people would come in and sign up or inquire about signing up to the gym, you know what their biggest limiting belief was on why they wouldn't sign up? I'm not fit enough to join the gym.
Is that right?
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Like, I'm not there yet.
Isn't that so crazy?
I'm like, wait, hold on. You are in the door though. You're here. This is where you're meant to be.
This is the place to do
to
it.
do the fitness.
Yeah.
And it's like it comes back down to the conditioning of like needing to have certain amount before you being able to receive whatever it is.
It's actually the perfect analogy because it doesn't make any logical sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yet it's how we're conditioned in pretty much every lens, which is like, don't have the bridge, I can't come over there, don't have the bridge. I'm like, the bridge is the package.
That's the work.
Wait, you're paying for the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't have it.
Yeah, no.
Do you need a different bridge to get to the bridge you're going to build or something?
Yeah.
And it's the thing, you can't fight emotional problems with logical fucking explanations.
Exactly. Yeah, fuck.
Fuck, how much of that have we captured versus not captured?
Oh, I'm not sure. We're currently at 1 hour and 8 and it said 51 minutes and 29, but it says it's still recording.
Okay. It might just mean that you got to free up in order for it to...
In order for it to do its thing. Yes. Fuck, man.
I mean, it's been pretty fucking juicy so far.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Sun's just passed behind the cliffs. We're in the shade now. It's a completely different portal that we're in. Now let's talk about the dark side.
What's fucking next?
Now let's talk about the dark side.
Yeah, fuck.
If you're not doing this, oh, fuck. Yeah, man. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. This is not where I thought these were going to go. Which I never do.
Nah.
It's almost like that's exactly...
It's exactly
what we're talking
even
about.
if it does cut off at like 58 minutes and there's 10 minutes that's missing, it's like, cool. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
We were just meant to have the conversation.
And, you know, how much of this we will use, not use, who cares? This is
Yeah.
the embodiment practice. The amount of calls that I have
Yeah.
with people, and I'm not charging,
Yeah, of course.
because it's like, it helps me feel the most connected to what it is that I'm doing.
Devotion
which
to the practice.
Only then just brings in more, you know.
More abundance. Yeah.
And that's so cool. And
Yeah.
I don't think that, I guess I want to make it really clear, it doesn't have to be, oh, this is only possible unless you're fucking an entrepreneur. You
Good
know?
point. Yep.
Because I think it's like, it's all well and good. Look at us fucking lying here on the beach, you know?
Yeah, man.
Look at these cunts fucking entrepreneurs that, yeah, of course they get to do anything because they're their own boss or whatever. But once you have a few kids, you know, you need to do certain things because we live in a world of attachments.
Yep.
There's a certain amount that you have to do. Like,
Mm.
I still have to pay my way. You know, I
Yeah.
still have to eat. I still have to do certain things.
Yep.
And fuck that if I'm not going to do it from the place that I truly want to do it. So
Yeah.
even the guy that is working for someone else or working for, you know, a 9 to 5 sort of thing. Sure, he might not be able to come to the beach, or she might not be able to come to the beach on a Tuesday afternoon. But it's fucking do what makes you feel the closest to that desired reality as much as you can.
What can it look like?
You get to choose.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
it may not look like this right now. You may not have the health that you're calling in right now.
Yeah.
But what do you have and what can you practice? What can you cultivate in the now?
Yeah, I mean, I want to fucking farm and I want to run retreats and I
course.
want kids and I want goats.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm living like I'm already there, which
Yeah,
will
yeah,
help
yeah.
me get there.
Yep. Yep.
And that means that, I mean, a very important lesson is like, can I say that I already have everything that I need?
Yeah.
I think I can say that.
Yeah.
Which means everything else is a bonus.
Yeah. Isn't that funny though, the word need?
Yeah.
Everything I need. And then the invitation for me to you right now in this moment to put you on the spot is like, what do you feel like you need? Is there anything else you feel like you need?
No, nothing else. There's a few things that I'll let in.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
But you don't need it?
I don't think so.
No.
You know, like I'm good. I'm getting by. I am in a pretty cool place. The things that I guess come to mind would be the things that I'm already know that I'm working on,
Yeah, of course.
which should be like even more depth in my relationship
Yep.
to create more space for us to bring in a child.
Yep.
Right? That's a very conscious devotional thing that I am working for, but as soon as I need it too much, it'll be the reason I don't have it.
Yeah, because you're in full desire and you're in full trust that it's going to happen.
And that's where I guess my practices come in a lot and have been in the last 18 months, where it's like, I'm also okay if it all falls apart, which is not an easy thing to do, but it is a necessary
Yeah.
practice in order to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, what we put attention into, we sometimes attract. And if I'm not looking at within, like, well, where I keep thinking, oh, but what if we don't?
Yeah.
And that's what I'll fucking attract.
Yeah, man.
Or detract.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I think I do have a really solid foundation of everything that I need right now. And then how good does life get to be? Because I keep kind of then building on top of that.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I won't get the fucking dog, because I want a dog,
Yeah, man.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I'm okay with and without it, and then everything else on top will be really nice.
Yep.
And it's cool. I mean, I've gotten to a place where that's true.
Mm.
And I don't want to get to a place later and make that true. Oh yeah, but once I have a few more things, then I'll have everything that I need.
That's the trap.
Because that's it. That's
Yeah.
like where that's a never-ending cycle.
Yes.
There's always more, as we
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
And-
Yeah.
And again, I gotta watch the bus.
Yeah.
Right. The
See-
bus will say,
Yeah.
yeah, but you know, a couple of extra 100,000 would be nice.
Mm.
Or like, you know, you should probably do a little bit of work tonight at Zach's while they have a steak. It's like, fuck. Or
Or I can have the steak.
Yeah.
Or just having the steak is good.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Fuck.
quieten down.
Yeah. That's an interesting one that's been coming up a little bit for me lately, and something that I had to
Mm-hmm.
dance with
Great.
is an element of guilt coming over me when I am sitting with my son.
Okay. Oh yeah, tell me.
Like, you should be doing this. The work's not going to get done if you're just sitting here, Zach, is it? And even though I get to choose when I do the work, it's really funny. Those stories can still be really loud. And when guilt comes in, it's hard not to listen to the story.
Yeah.
Because then what I usually then get guilty for is, am I not devoting myself enough to my practice?
Is it not to be a dad?
And that's exactly what my answer is all the time. And it's just like, the story comes in and then I'm just like, bro, just be a dad.
Yeah.
Just be a dad.
Did
And also,
fuck yeah.
when it comes the time to work, really fucking devote yourself to the practice. When it comes time to sit there and simply just be with your son, devote yourself to that practice.
Yeah. And they have to work in complete synergy for them to work in their fullest way.
It's the same world.
It's the same thing, right?
It's the same thing.
And I think the more that, I mean, a kid is the best motivator.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is for you, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, this is for legacy
Yeah,
creation,
man.
you know? And then it's like, when I'm at work, get after it.
Yep.
And when I'm with you, get the fuck out of my work.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and every single time this comes in, I think of the Tao. Express yourself completely, then keep quiet.
Yes.
So
isn't that
fucking
perfect?
do the work on your business, do the fucking thing, devote yourself, and then fucking go rest, bro. Chill. Express yourself completely to your son, and then go fucking do the chill.
Yeah.
Like, there is that yin and yang.
Has to be.
There has to be. There's the night and the day. There's the masculine and the feminine. There's all of that. And so every single time that this story continues to come up, fuck, I need to be working more because I need to build a legacy and I need to do all this and I need to keep the money coming in. The Tao just keeps coming through. It's just like, keep quiet.
Yeah. So what, I guess I always come in with, it's like, how do we honor that the voice exists
Yeah.
without shaming it or silencing it, but actually having a really good relationship with it? Because it ain't going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. Again, this is how I personally have the relationship
tell
with
me.
it. Is just simply invited in for a cup of tea. Hey, how you going?
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I haven't seen you for a bit. What's going on?
You've been a lot more quiet.
You have been a lot more quiet, but now you're here. All good. All right, come in. I'll put the kettle on. Pour a nice cup of ginger tea and be like, why are you here?
Yeah.
And like, all good that you're here. Like, it's awesome that we get to sit down and have this conversation right now. But just out of curiosity, why is it that you're here right now?
Yeah.
And listen to it and invite it in. Have a cup of tea with it. Have a little bit of a dance with it. And then I always go, well, cool. I appreciate that you've stopped by. But, you know, I haven't taken off the seatbelt and I'm still in the driver's seat and I get to make the choices. And because I'm the highest version of myself all the time, I'm always going to make the choice from that place. So therefore, thanks for the tea. I've enjoyed your time here and I'll walk you out to the door.
Mm-hmm.
I think is something to say about actually sitting with it
Absolutely, man.
and having the conversation with it.
I think there's so much simplicity in that would create so much more flow in people's worlds if they just built a different relationship with that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be a parent for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
right? It's no different to these voices, to these parts of us that show up to say, like, we have to.
Yeah.
Remember, we've got to put food on the table. Remember, we've got to make some more money. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to parent them
Yeah.
forever. Parenting's not going to stop with them. And as soon as I start abandoning, not hearing, not listening, I mean, I know full well what happened to me when I wasn't seen and heard and understood in the way that I really need.
Yeah.
But I've come too far to not go, I'm not leaving you. So, let me know how you are. Inform me, have a cuppa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll just remind you, like, I've got you. And actually, thanks, because you're right. But we're not going to do it from that way.
Yep.
But it was probably a good reminder that I'll maybe pull myself back into balance. But not from your energy, from mine.
Yeah.
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 If we had better relationships with these internal worlds that we can create, instead of shaming them, isolating them,
Yeah.
exiling them, keeping them in the dark, in
Yeah.
the shadows,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we'd have a very different world.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe so too, man. I really do. And again, like, I'm, not in the world of therapy. I mean, I can't call myself
it sure
that.
sounds like it.
But I have a lot of these conversations with my clients because if I don't,
Yeah.
and if I can't, I can only get them so far.
Yeah.
But if I do have how can I word this? If I do have a part to play in their internal world, I believe I can have a greater part in their external. Yeah,
For sure.
of course.
Yeah.
Because it's all one.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I mean, if you were most health coaches, you are only helping them with their external world. And this is the missing link, and probably
Yeah.
one of my questions is like, well, can it be done with just coaching through that lens? Or are they going to plateau? Or are they going to need to come from a multifaceted angle to be able to actually
Yeah.
even see what's getting in the way?
Yeah.
And if we're not looking at the internal, if I look at like a PT, it's like, well, they're just fucking not doing enough sit-ups. It's like, you don't understand the why. Yeah, but that's because they're pussy, or that's because they're weak, or whatever it might be. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're going to unlock unlimited potential,
Yeah. For sure.
Like what were we talking about today? There's AFL teams doing breath work.
Yeah. It's cool,
Half
man.
of them would have probably been like, back in the
What
day,
the
like, what do you fucking
fuck
mean?
are
I'm
you
like,
talking
mate, you
about?
do it 24/7. All you do is breathe.
Yeah, all I'm doing is fucking heavy breathing, son. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I don't need more heavy breathing before I'm about to do heavy breathing.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now it's like,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can start to shift these narratives and,
Yeah.
and step into it. And that's what I mean by, like, You got to pave the way to be able to start to help people with the internal.
Yes, yeah.
Otherwise, we won't really see true change.
That's exactly right. And again, the nervous system is a very, very fascinating world that I'm understanding more and more about, and the connection. It's the bridge between the inner and the outer world. That's the nervous system.
Yeah. I always say that the breath is the truest truth teller.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because when I'm coaching someone, I don't give them nervous system practices as much as I do a way of being that then allows their nervous system to become more regulated.
And they naturally notice.
They naturally go, I feel better. Oh, why? Oh, it's not the nervous system practice that you did. It's the practice of the way of being that you did.
Yeah.
How you do things, in my opinion, and I'd love to know your opinion on this, how you do things is more important than the what.
Well, I mean, a lot of therapists and facilitators, coaches as well, get stuck in the explanation of the nervous system.
Yeah.
This is why this is happening. Rather than like, help someone do the integration work, help someone do the actual thing, and then if it feels that it's still needed, this is what was just happening. Are you interested in understanding what's going on in the world of your nervous system? Because as soon as you go there before you're actually feeling or you're in the notion of that practice, people are like, it's not relevant. I don't get it. What do you mean? Why are you teaching me this? It's like a lot of people get stuck in like, so here's the thing, like a breath work, perfect example. I'm going to explain to you what breath work is for the first hour, and then we're going to do it. It's like, you're better off doing it. I mean, prepping them for the safety, of course, but then going, you know, here's what's actually going on underneath.
Yep.
Because we're conditioned to think that we need all the fucking bridge to be able to do the thing. You know, it's like, no. You tell me that you feel better, and if you want to know, you know, the physiology of what's actually happening underneath, then I'll let you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Or you're just happy to not fucking know how the bread is made.
Yeah, bread. For sure. Yeah, I'm working with a client at the moment who is in the nursing world, and so 5 days a week, 10 hours a day, sympathetic dominant state.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. She's under lights. She's under a lot of stress. She loves her job, though. So it's not my duty to be like, well,
you need to leave.
For you to be the healthiest version of yourself, you're going to have to quit. That's not the answer. But I, again, was really getting clear on the person that she desires to be and become. And she's craving stillness in her life. Yep. And so rather than me telling her about a nervous system practice that she can do, I simply am inviting her to have the slowest morning possible. With no action. With, can you simply just wake up, put the kettle on, pour yourself a cup of tea, and just read a book. And it's so crazy. She's like a week and a half in, and she is finding so much challenge in that. And I'm like, great. There's your integration. There's your work.
Yeah.
And then it's so funny because when she's able to drop into that presence, she's then like, I honestly feel so calm throughout the day. So is it the nervous system practice that's doing the thing, or is it the practice of how she desires to be and how much presence and patience you can bring to a moment? That is the nervous system regulation.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And that's why we get caught up in the, you know, in the skill teaching and in the information education, where it's like, come back to me in a week, you know? I honestly, you know, I've been doing this for a very long time, and I work with a lot of people that are like, teach me how to work with deep trauma. And I go, I guarantee you the best process or tool or experience that happens is people get non-negotiable about their self-care, about their devotional practice. That'll change people's life more than any fucking clearing trauma processing work, because it consistently creates a platform a foundation, a scaffolding for everything else. Tell me the 6 things you want to do throughout your week that help fill up your cup. It is that fucking simple.
Oh, man.
And it's like, people skip so much of that and go, oh, I don't know why that, us processing their sexual abuses isn't changing anything for them. It's like, mate, they're not even fucking breathing properly.
Yeah.
They're not going outside.
Yeah, they're not getting their feet on the earth.
It's like, shut up and slow down. And,
Yeah.
The perfect example with that nurse, it's like, you cannot have, if it's yin and yang,
Yeah.
and yang is effort, then you need effortlessness.
Oh, man.
You have to balance.
You have
Otherwise,
to.
you're going to, you very slowly, sometimes very quickly, die.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's so beautiful because, like, when she first came to me, she was desiring more stillness, and then she thought the stillness was it was in the form of like a protocol, or
It has to be meditation.
it has to be this. Yeah. So it was just like, all right, Zach. She was like, okay, Zach, no.
That's the only way I'm going to do it is if I have
the
set
thing.
exact structure that
Yeah.
these things, and it's this breath pattern, or it's,
And she's so she's like, okay, well, what's the morning routine practice? And I go, the morning routine practice for you is wake up, kettle on, sit with your book.
Yeah, watch what comes up.
Watch what comes up. And like every morning she's feeling this pull, I've got to be doing something. I have to be doing something. I've got to get myself ready for work. I'm like, no, you get yourself ready for work the night before. You're prepared. And the only thing that you have to do is open that book and drink the tea. Not only do that, but I'm going to invite you into how you do it. How
That's it.
slowly can you sip that tea? How much can you immerse yourself into those pages?
Yeah. Now, I guess coming back to my lens, is people are so conditioned, Zach, that based on some of their experiences, that their nervous system actually can't handle that because it's too much, too big, and too soon. So where do you go with that? Because that discomfort, there is a point where for some people, stillness is way more scary than like, we're going to get you to, jump out of a plane or like put yourself under the craziest flighty stress that you can possibly do.
Yep.
It's so much scarier and so much harder and so much more uncomfortable.
Yep.
So sometimes these things, and this is why, I always say this example, it's like probably my hardest and most, unfortunately traumatized client, or the things that she had, just as simple like, I just want you to take in a breath, would give her a panic attack. So there's no right practice to say, oh yeah, breathing will help slow someone down. Breathing literally put her into such a catatonic state that who the fuck am I to say that breathing's going to be the thing that helps you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess where do you go with someone, for example, this client, that's like, it's just too much of an overdrive for my system right now.
Yeah. Then my invitation would be, what does 1 minute of that look like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What does putting the kettle on and just sitting with a cup of tea for 1 minute?
It probably needs the book right now.
Yeah. And like, maybe it's not even the book. Maybe it's just a simple cup of water. Maybe I think the invitation is, if you find this the challenge, can you actually sit with a very small amount of being uncomfortable? So then the invitation then becomes, well, what does a minute and a half look like? What does 2 minutes look like? And then we can continue to build on that. If that is too much and they need some kind of stimulation for their nervous system to feel a little bit more safe because they can't sit in their own head, I would be like, what does it feel like to go for a walk of a morning? And so you are a little bit stimulated, but you're still with yourself, yeah?
There is more slowness, it's more intention.
Yeah.
It's still moving out of effort.
Yes, it's moving out of effort and into simply just being. Maybe that's the invitation. Or maybe if you can't do it during the week, maybe it's like get yourself to a beach on a weekend where you can hear the waves crashing, you can feel your feet in the sand, and there's enough stimulation to keep you feeling safe, but there's also that presence of you being with yourself, connecting with yourself in nature, and kind of maybe letting the nervous system to regulate that way, if that's too much of a challenge for you. So
it's about that modification.
Yeah,
and
modification.
And really looking at what is going to be your edge.
Yeah.
That you're willing to sit with and be in.
Yep.
So it continues to be this, evolution. Because, fuck, gone are the days where it's like force your way to this so that you get
working.
better.
Yeah.
Right.
And look, to be completely honest with you, bro, if I found myself taking on a client that had severe anxiety with breathing, simply taking in a breath, I'd be like, I want you to go have a conversation with Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good call.
So I just want to be clear that, like, I'm not taking on people that are way out of my depth, but maybe she starts with you, for example, and then potentially if she's looking at integrating health, then she comes to me. I'm not taking on anyone who I can't put my hand on my heart and say, I know I can genuinely help you.
And this is why I think it's, a big part of where I've, am so devoted to serving others to create a gold standard of how this work gets to be done and should be done, in the sense it's like, that being very powerful and true, but it's then done through this lens of like just screening to be able to even know that deep knowing question that you set at the start, like, where are you right now?
Yeah.
If we're not assessing that, then we actually take on without realizing. And I think a lot of this industry is sort of doing that, and then we create more harm than good.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily from a bad intention, it's just from a lack of awareness of maybe, this person needs to slow the fuck down a little bit more in a different way first.
Yeah.
It's the same with like couples therapy. It's like, if the person's in active addiction, we're not going to be doing too good of fucking couples work, because they're in a relationship with their fucking drug.
Yeah.
So we've got to start there, and it's just being able to have that screening to be able to know the difference.
Yeah.
And this then, as you say, it's such a honourable practice to be like, I do believe I can serve you, or it's just not for right now.
Yep.
And
but
that be true.
I do know who can.
Yeah.
That's a powerful thing, to be able to sit there, be an integral human being, and be like, okay, based on this conversation, I'm probably not the best person for where you're at right now, but I see where you are. I understand where you are.
Yeah.
But the person that can truly help you in this moment is this person. I'll give him a call, and I'm going to put you in the room together.
Yeah, man.
And that, to me, is a fucking leadership at its
good.
finest.
And then we're actually collectively creating the change that's needed.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, it comes up all the time. People, I'm identifying a lot of different things that are like, these are less psychological based concerns, where I can get you to the point, and then you need to go and not have a robot help you through it. Have a human experience, with someone that's going to say, fuck the protocol, but let's get some bloods done.
Yeah.
Let's have a little bit of a look at, like, how do we level up from where you've gotten to now, and through that lens of health, but knowing that you're only going to, I guess add to the cool thing that I might have done, or vice versa.
For sure. Yeah.
That's the way we should be.
I think it's really underrated, underspoken about, under-embodied to build a foundation, and how important it is to build a fucking foundation through the lens of simplicity. Like, If my clients that I'm working with for 6 months can't embody the foundations, why the fuck am I teaching them about the 1%ers?
Yeah.
No.
That's it. What a waste of time.
It's a waste of time. I am getting them to fully integrate and embody the foundations. That's going to move the needle pretty fucking far, by the way. Then also, now we get to take it to another level if that's what your heart desires.
And that's the thing where it's like, you know, I have a lot of really good quality facilitators in my programs. And they're like, oh man, I don't need to learn the basics. I was like, the fuck you don't. That is the biggest component of this work.
Yeah.
Go and read and watch every single bit of my videos on this shit.
Yeah.
Because you will have a different perspective by the end of it. And I'm teaching people that have been doing so much work on themselves just to get non-negotiable about consistently putting themselves first and putting in their practices.
Yep.
And then they reckon that they can go and help others do the same. I'm like, bro, you aren't doing it. You know?
Yep.
Just that leak itself.
That's it, man. That's it. And this is where I'm conscious about letting people into the person I am through the way that I do things versus what I teach.
Say more to that.
If people can really get to know me as the human behind the coaching,
Yeah.
they're going to get fucking 10 times better results.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I'm here.
Well, then you're modeling it.
Yeah, I'm fully the embodiment of who I am as a person. Therefore, anything that I coach fucking lands and slaps you in the face as hard as you could possibly imagine.
That's it.
Because of the person that's delivering the content, not the content itself. When you read a book or listen to a podcast, all the information's already been said.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah?
Nothing is original, bro.
Nothing's original, right?
Yeah, nothing.
But I tell you what is original, how I said it.
That's right.
Yep.
How it resonates for
How
me.
it lands for me. How I receive the information that you're giving.
Yeah.
And then quite often people go, oh my God, I've never heard it explained like that, Zach. I'm like, yes, you have. You just weren't ready to receive it because the person that was giving it to you wasn't aligned to where you were in that any given moment.
Yeah.
So therefore, the more authentic I can become as a human, filming these videos out in nature, being more of an embodiment of who I am, my work gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and people become so much more able to receive it because they're more connected to the human that's speaking it.
Mate, it's the same thing we were talking about before. Where are you making the fucking bread? Like, where are you surfing, bro?
Yeah.
If I was going to work with you and you like, oh yeah, I'm just not going to surf for 3 months, I'd be like, the fuck you are?
Yeah.
If you're not getting into this stuff, how am I going to be able to actually absorb what it is that you've got to gift me?
Yep.
And that's like, it just helps motivate me even more to honor, get on the fucking plane and come here for an extra day. Did I need to? Fuck no. Was there things I could do? Well, hell yeah.
Should be working on your business, bro.
I should be doing this and that. I've got fucking this to do. And yet, this, I mean, I'll say it right now. I'll probably fucking call in a client just by doing this thing this week.
Of course.
And that's like the trust and faith that I have to have in myself to then go, this is the work.
Yes.
This is
The practice.
Exactly why I'm doing this.
Yes.
And that's what I teach is like become the work.
Yep. Embody it.
It's it.
It's
just
embody
the
it.
truest form of embodiment, whatever that looks like for you.
Yep.
And it will shift.
Yep.
You didn't know that a dad was part of the embodiment, and now you're like, this is where it now has to look like this.
Yep. Yeah, it's sick, man. Like, I had a conversation with a girl last night, and she was just like, I was just so drawn to your vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Me too.
sick. I know that the work that you and I are about to embark on is going to be so potent because of that alone.
Yeah.
Because of that alone.
Yeah, bro.
And so therefore, it's like, okay, do I need to learn more or do I need to just be more of a fucking vibe?
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep working on me and being a vibe and being my authentic self and continuing to surf and being out here in nature filming these videos because it's the practice that I know is the most aligned practice that I could be devoting myself to, being me.
And this is the thing, man. With that level of patience and presence,
Yeah.
your eyes are open to see where you would need to improve next.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you know, one of her things is that she's got this thing that I'm actually not as versed as I'd like to be.
I'm so glad you're saying this.
And if I wasn't doing this practice,
Yep.
would I even be able to see? Because I've got an attachment to an outcome
Yeah,
or whatever it might be that makes me go, oh no, I've got everything that I need. I don't, you know, nah, it's this, it's not that. It's like, then we get to be humbled by this experience. And this work is always about refinement. So many times, and this is my one-day event, people are going to come to it because they think they need more tools, more skills, and more training. And I'm going to tell them fucking straight away, that is an illusion. That even if it is true, it's not from the place that your deepest truth is. It's let's look at what already is happening in the room.
Yep.
And there is enough that's already going and telling you where you're being pulled and where you're being controlled by and where you need to actually create enough space to let that go.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Confronting shit.
Yeah.
And once we can get to a place of surrender and that, you know, be the shield that we put down and actually say, oh, I've just got to hand this over and then go and get in the water.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
that be this cleansing that then goes, all right, sweet. I know what I've got to do.
Yeah.
But it's only because I stopped trying to get it done, you know, or find the thing that I have to do.
Yeah.
And it's the fucking ocean that gave it to the
Yep.
answer. You know, it's the meditation. It's sitting with Lenny that gave me the, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah. There's a piece in the Tao that says something along the lines of, when you're searching for something, let's say clarity, as you're searching through the mud, you're flicking up more mud to look for something in a very muddy place because you're searching for it. But if you can fully trust that you don't need to find it, the right action will just arise by itself. Because you've stopped attaching to needing the thing. You've stopped looking for it. It's now right there in front of you the whole time.
Yeah.
And so that's what I believe people struggle with grasping. Surely, though, it can't actually be that simple. There's got to be more that I have to fucking do to receive the thing that I'm looking for, or at least searching for. It's like, you're not going to find it if you're looking. You know where you can find it, though? If you just devote yourself to the practice and then allowing whatever it is that you're looking for or to be and become will then just be in front of you.
I teach a lot of my facilitators to shut up.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
Because, you know, like you said before about the Tao as well, where it's like, say what you need to say and then be quiet, means that you're tossing up more and more mud for them to actually reveal itself.
Yes.
And then go, well, if I let this settle, then does it not reveal itself?
Yes. That's the Tao. When you let it settle, the right action
Yeah.
will arise.
And I truly believe that our work is is there was once a time where we didn't question that and we just did that.
Yeah.
When we were kids, when we were magical, wonderful, egocentric little beings that didn't have these ingrained fears or, reasons to and not do. And now it's about coming back to that bliss and helping quieten the noise that says we can't.
Yep.
And that is a lifelong practice because there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Not just internally.
Yeah.
Externally too.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this practice of devotion, but also compassion. Because it's like, I'm not, in a ashram.
Yeah.
With complete detachment.
Yep.
I'm actually not. Which means I in some way have attachments that I've got to be able to move with. That if I'm not careful, they can pull me in.
Yep.
And this is the practice. It's unless, it's why I don't believe in enlightenment. Because it's not possible if we keep searching and searching and searching for the one trueness of absolutism.
Yeah.
It never exists. Maybe it exists for the guy on the hill that literally doesn't have to ever move and he's just completely blissed with nothing. But he's not attached to anything.
Yep. Yep.
But that's not as absolute. Same with presence. So we've got to keep coming back.
Yeah. Have you read Be Here Now, Ram Dass?
No.
So, fuck, I almost don't want to ruin the story for you. Fuck, but it speaks into this, and what I can tell you about his story is he was searching for the thing through psychedelics.
Yeah.
Was searching and searching and searching for enlightenment. What's the thing?
It's got to be under this next rock.
It's got to be on this next fucking high dose of LSD. It has to be. And it never was. He got close, but it never was. And then he's like, okay, cool, all good, whatever. And then...
And then it came.
Yeah. And then, let me just say, someone was like, hey, come on an adventure with me. Just to have the adventure.
Why? But why?
But why are we going on the adventure? He's just like, just come, follow me. And he's like, all good. He surrendered. And then next thing you know, he landed in the right place and became Ram Dass.
Yeah,
and I know that's such a fucking vague ass story.
No, I hear
but
every word, bro.
When you read it, because essentially Be Here Now, it just is like a heap of, different ways of thinking and different practices, around meditation and things of that nature. But the start of it is his story, and it's so fucking wild and beautiful, bro.
Yeah, dude.
And it's again what we've been speaking into for the last hour and a half. Detachment.
It's just simplicity, right? The very, very start of this.
Yeah.
It's like the more simplicity, the more grief. Really, because it's like, oh man, I've been like fucking picking up really heavy rocks, looking for something underneath it.
It's got to be there.
It's gonna be there, and then you're like, holy fuck.
It's not there.
It's been right here. I didn't have to lift anything,
Yeah, but it
that's the
feels
hard
so
thing.
much better when I lift something and find it,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Wouldn't it feel so much better when I've lifted the heaviest rock in the world and I found it?
Yeah, how underwhelming. And then we throw it. We throw it away.
Or how crazy is when you actually find it, you realise you don't need it.
Yeah, true.
Imagine that. You've been looking for
Fuck.
something for
I'm
fucking...
content now.
Yeah, you're like, oh, now that it's here, I actually don't need it.
That's so true for me.
Oh,
Fuck. Yeah. Man.
or what about if it was right under your nose the whole time, you just weren't looking at it?
This is what I mean by like the humbleness that, in 12-step recovery they say, step one is admitting that we're powerless and our life becomes unmanageable. And to admit that you're powerless is like the hardest thing for many people to do. But then in that paradox is in admitting is where we regain our power. Step 2 is being able to hand it over. Because we are powerless, we need to hand it over to something greater than ourselves. Because fuck, bro, it's gonna bring me to my knees. And that's why most people don't.
Yeah.
Because it's hard hitting. Not just for addicts, for all of us.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been trying to prove my worth through my relationships, every single fucking relationship for my whole life, and then I realized I just needed to love myself. Oh my god, I wasted so much time.
Oh, doesn't that hit hard when you realise you've wasted time?
Yeah.
But again, how do you speak to people when it slaps them in the face and they say, oh my god, I've wasted so much time, to be able to detach from that, from the fuck, yeah, I know you've wasted time, because then that can fucking send you into a spiral as well.
That's what I mean about this grief work, though.
Yeah,
Zach.
okay. Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
like,
yeah.
then all I do is hold them.
Hold them. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
what a fucking revelation that they've realised it's been under their
Yeah.
nose the whole time, that I just have to come back and look after this little boy or girl.
Yeah.
And I've abandoned them for the last 25 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, and they like, I've been there alone waiting for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, that can be really deep or really like, you know, surface level, but it's like both are true in the sense it's like, that's heavy. You know,
Yeah.
that's a big thing that I'm like, oh. And then there's an exhale and then a sadness that comes a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I think the more that we can then allow that to have this energy wave of it's going to clock over, and we can just let it be here to feel it, then we don't go back to the addiction. We
Yeah.
don't go, oh, that's too much to hold. I'm not ready to see that, you know? And that's why it's not like I'm telling some people a lot of this for the first time. Some I am. But they're like you said, oh, I've never heard it being received that way. It's also, I wasn't ready to receive it this way.
Yep.
And now it's like, and now we are.
Yep.
And then it's like, once you see it, it's very hard to unsee.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then it's like, I guess I have to look after
Yeah.
these parts of me.
Yeah. I'm passionate about the language that I use. And why I say that is because I believe for my work to land for the right person, it's all about language. How I can language my work in a way that people can receive it. And although the work may be deep and complex, it has an element and a layer of simplicity because of the language that he uses.
Totally.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, like...
And it won't to others.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine.
And so therefore, rather than me trying to fix everyone and everything, all I'm getting really clear on now is how I can language it for myself so it makes sense, number one. So
Yeah.
everything I'm learning...
You can embody it then.
So I can embody it.
Yeah.
And then therefore, whoever this work lands on and that they're able to receive because of the language I use, let's get in the fucking room together.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
That's gonna work so well like a magnet, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like that's gonna attract the people that you really, really can see
Yes.
and then repel others.
Yep.
That's okay with me.
Yeah, fuck
You
yeah.
know? And you know, I like to think of it like let's just say the world goes into even more disarray and you know, I'm up on this cliff and you're up on
Yeah.
that cliff and
Yeah.
we're both just sending out our message to help people come this way to the shelter. We've both got good shelters.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I'd be stoked that a heap of people go to you.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
going to a place that lands and feels safe and feels like
Yeah.
it's resonant to them.
Yeah.
And I know that you'll feel like stoked that there's people going that way too.
Fuck
and thank
yeah.
fuck. But
Yeah.
as soon as we're competing, we're actually getting in each other's way. We're dishonoring the beauty of the service that we can give.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, it comes back to that simple, like, I want to just speak clearly. I want to come down from the mountain that can speak. If they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. I know what I'm doing here.
Yes. Yep.
And
Yeah.
so be it. I also think that I talk in mind-bending riddles to some people.
Love that. Yeah.
And I can find other ways for it to land, because I'm here to work and move with who I'm working with.
Yep.
And that's fine, because then I'm sharpening my own tool to know I'm not just speaking to me, I'm speaking to others through my experience.
Yep.
And what it is that I know that I can teach. And yeah,
Yeah.
all feedback is welcome to keep sharpening that.
Fuck yeah. Bro. What a chat.
What a chat.
What a chat.
What if we end on a question that is a simple answer that's just what is, or maybe it's not a simple answer. It might be a while.
Yeah.
But what's one of the major things that if 3 years ago Zach was sitting here now would be like, are you fucking serious? Did we really do that? That you know that you can be really, really proud of, that this is where you've got. And don't say being a dad.
No.
That one's obvious.
Just so I understand the context of the question a little bit deeper.
Sure.
What's something that I've done
Or have become.
or have become that
That-
3 years ago?
Would be astounded.
Fuck.
Like, there's no way. And just gobsmacked by what you've done.
That being a full fucking embodiment of who I am has created a level of abundance that I could never imagine in all different areas of my life by simply just being me.
To say that 3 years ago you didn't realize you could just be you.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 years ago, me didn't realize that you just being you is going to be the thing that you're here to do.
Yeah, right. He's trying to look and
I was trying to be like, all right, how can I be the best X?
Yeah.
Rather than how can I be the most me? And then it's so funny because the more of me that I've become and will continue to become, the more of what I desire keeps coming to me and I keep receiving more of. More stillness, more freedom, more money, more health,
Yeah.
relationships getting better,
Yeah.
friendships are getting deeper.
How good.
So that's my answer. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. You?
I like to think that every year keeps getting better,
Yep.
which is a really nice sentiment that I actually deeply believe, even in hard years. I just like, it's a whole nother year that I'm alive, and this is where it came to now. But I guess 3 years ago, I'm like 29, you know? And I don't think that he thought that it would be here this quickly.
Okay.
What I have, what I feel, what I guess how much time I've collapsed. Did you say 32 or 42? You know, he might say, man, 32. And he's like, fuck. You did that in 3 years? Like, yeah. And I guess what is that is like similar to what you said, but I guess it's like, I really started going and trusting, like, you think you are living on purpose and on mission, but you just wait. Like, we get so much more aligned, and it feels even more okay without so many things that you thought we had to do in order to have that.
Yep.
And that feels really beautiful to share.
Sick.
In the sense that it's just like, yeah, I guess it's like a relief, and it's like, oh wow, you know, I'm really proud of myself. Like, I really am like, huh, you know, if I go another 3 years back and another 3 years back, you know, I told my mum last night, it's like, I'm like, Mum, I read books now. You know?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You know, I can
I'm a reader.
read, you know?
Yeah.
And then at the moment I'm reading a book on writing.
Fuck.
Because I'm a writer.
Yeah, boy.
You know, if we come back to 5-year-old me, that motherfucker didn't get his pen license, dude. He wasn't allowed it. So,
Fuck.
3 years gives me that.
Yeah.
3 years gives me the
Yeah.
perspective, and if
Yeah.
I go back, you know, 30, it's like, yeah, man, like, it's really encouraging to keep kind of being like, man. And I kind of want to be 90 and be like, 80-year-old me didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
And be like, silly young man, you know? So,
Yeah, that's
yeah, dude.
That's cool,
Imagine
man.
this chat in like 30 years. What's going to come out of our mouths then?
Yeah.
But I really appreciate that we get to do this.
Yeah, man.
Truly.
Yeah, it was meant to happen. It was a very last minute thing that you've ended up on Bells Beach.
It was probably already written.
It was, man.
It's already so.
Should we have a
dude.
chat about that for the next 4 hours right now? About our
Should we
path
open that?
is already written, so just surrender and let it happen.
Yeah,
No.
on the next one.
On
with,
the next one,
with Zach and Jacko.
we're going to talk about our soul's path.
What does full surrender get you?
Yeah, fuck.
All
Nah,
right.
it's cool, man. I really appreciate the chat, and yeah, it feels complete.
Fucking oath. Oh, how good.
Yeah. 2 hours